Tiffany. Thanks for having me. Today I'm working on something orange. Orange is my jam, literally. Orange marmalade is my favorite jam. But orange is also my creative jam. I wear it, I use it in almost everything I make. So today I'm going to show you how to make your very own jar of creative jam. I started out this project with several sheets of clear shrink plastic and 2 different sizes of circle punches. I always do my punches upside down so that I can make sure that all of the edges are covered inside of the circle. And then I tape it down with a piece of masking tape, which I can use over and over for this to make as many as I want. And I put a solid color of orange on one side. And this does not look like orange right now, it looks like yellow, but as the shrink plastic shrinks, it will concentrate the color and it will be a beautiful bright orange. There we go. And then I turn it over to write on it. The reason that I turn it over to write on it is that the orange side will go down on a piece of paper in a baking pan in the oven. And as it shrinks, it will leave some of its color behind, and that's okay, but you don't want it face down with your word, or part of that might stick and you might lose some of that. The circle punches that I chose for this project were 1 3/4 inch and 1 1/8 inch. And here they are. They get really tiny and the color also gets very concentrated. If you look around at my words, you'll see things and descriptions and symbols, and Eco Heidi's name is in there. If I pulled Eco Heidi's name out of my creative jam jar, I would go digging through my recycles to make a lovely project. If I pulled my little house here out of my creative jam jar with the little heart on the front of it, I would know I needed to change something in my surroundings to make me feel a little more excited. Maybe add a little color or just rearrange furniture, anything that would help me keep my creative juices flowing. I've put them in the oven, and now in just a few minutes they're going to start to curl up. And it looks like they're gonna be wrecked as they start to curl up, but they're not. Not at all, because they'll get all squishy and then they will lay back down. It might take a minute before it starts. And here we go. They're almost all the way back down flat. Some of them won't go completely flat, so when you take them out of the oven and they're still soft, you can press down on them with your pot holder to flatten them out the rest of the way. All right, looks like we're done. Right now I'm working on the label for my jar. I have some polymer clay under here and I'm burnishing the gold luster on it, and then I'm going to cut out a heart shape for my label. So let me burnish this a little more. And then you tear it off, and there you have some gold luster. So let's cut it with the first cutter. And I can use this, the rest of this clay, for something else. It'll make some real lovely beads. And then I'm going to go back and cut this out so that I have a frame for the letters. There's my frame. I've made a nest out of a towel because I'm going to fire the clay right onto the jar. You can see here I've rolled out a very thin white base to go behind my frame. And I'm going to bake it right onto the jar. It's going to be lovely. My label is finished baking on the jar, and I let it cool very slowly so that the glass didn't crack. And then I took a gel pen to write my creative jam on there and went back over it with a sparkly gel pen. And now let's tend to the lid. The first thing I want to do with the lid is glue this on the outside of it. So I need to trace around that. And I'm going to trim it a little inside the circle because I don't want any hanging off the edge. And I'm not too worried about this being perfect because I'm also going to cover it with material and jewels. Okay. That's kind of a funny shape, but that's really all we need. I've got my super thick tacky glue. Okay. I'm going to squish that onto the lid. And then I have a piece to go around the side as well. This is some really fun paper. My friend Sharon Bernard taught me how to marble paper. We, one snowy day, went to her classroom. She taught ceramics at a private school, junior high level. And a bunch of us got to come and learn how to marble paper. It was a lot of fun. And we made journals that day with the paper. And I have loved marbling and journal making ever since. Okay, this doesn't have to be perfect either. Okay, the idea is that this lovely fabric is going to be glued inside of the lid, and then it's going to be gathered together on top of the lid, and there'll be some jewels, and it'll look real pretty, and I'll tie it. But first I want to round this out just a little bit. And this does not have to be a perfect circle. I might even pull at the edges a little bit to get some fraying, because I like the way that looks. So it's more or less a roundish, squarish shape, and that's okay with me. Now I'm adding some gems to go underneath the sheer material. I think they're going to really look pretty cool under there. I didn't want to put them on the outside edge because I didn't want them to be coming off every time it twisted. Yes, some yellow hearts. I like that. Very jewelly. This is going to be so inspiring. I'm going to be using it every day. And one more. Let's use some purple stars. Yep. Now let's check the way that looks. Oh yes, it's sparkly. Lovely. Now let's glue the fabric. I'm gluing the colorful sparkly side down because I want that to show when I pull the edges up. Here's my finished creative jam jar. Let's see what's on the menu today. We've got glitter, dessert, shoes. I gotta get busy. Thanks.